What's in a name? Well, when it comes to BMW introducing an entire new class of car, I'd say definitely a lot. So, is the 4 worthy of an all-new series from BMW? Let's find out. It's longer, lower, and wider than the 3 Series. The 4 Series Coupe is about 0.4 inches closer to the ground than the 3 Series sedan. Of course, the lower center of gravity translates to better handling. It's also 3/4 of an inch shorter with a 2-inch longer wheelbase. The wheels have also been pushed more to the corners for a more comfortable and better handling ride. The optional M Sport brakes look really cool. Despite the lower roof height, BMW has managed to engineer in 1.5 inches of improved headroom. Weight also helps handling and fuel economy, and the 428i is 99 pounds lighter than the 3 Series. It's also more aerodynamic thanks to the front air intakes and louvers behind the front wheel. All in all, to my eye, it's a better, bolder design, and it looks fresh, and I like it. Inside, the interior has all of the familiar elements from the 3 Series. The steering wheel and gauges are all familiar, as is the iDrive system, which you use to interact with the infotainment screen. It's a bit basic in my test car. No rear view camera, no Sirius XM, no heated seats, but these are all available optional extras. I do miss the heads-up display though. The power-operated memory optional sports seats are very, very comfortable and, of course, supportive. The leather-covered armrest is a bit tiny, but open it up and you do have a connection for your smarter iPhone plus a USB in. You get a real handbrake, nice optional burlwood trim, and of course, BMW's iDrive controls. You get an 8-speed automatic transmission, which you can shift yourself, and controls for Sport, Sport Plus, and Eco Pro modes. More on that later. Plus, the ability to cancel the traction control, which I don't recommend. Moving forward, you get a tray, which actually doubles as 2 cup holders. And just in front of that, you get even more storage and a charger. Moving up on the dash, you get dual-zone climate control, plus standard controls for the radio and CD. I definitely like the 3-tone look on the interior, but I think the infotainment screen could use a bit more color. But once you get used to BMW's iDrive system, it is simple, straightforward, and easy to use, plus it provides lots of useful information. You'll definitely be able to find a comfortable driving position thanks to the adjustability of the seat and the steering wheel, plus I like the fact that there's a dead pedal even in the automatic. The thick steering wheel feels good in your hands, as any BMW should. It's got a nice M logo there. Of course, cruise control right here, and Bluetooth and volume for your radio. Of course, you also get the option to shift up or down with the paddles. The gauge cluster is straightforward and minimalistic. You do get a constant reminder of your fuel economy right here on the tach. To the left of the steering wheel, you have controls for your lighting, and of course more storage in the door, plus controls for your power windows and door locks. All in all, it's a very comfortable, sporty, luxurious, and simplistic layout, as you'd expect from BMW. Out back, you get your own vent and charger, plus seating for 2. You also get some storage in this tray. Pop down the armrest, and you get 2 cup holders too. You can then change that into a pass-through to the trunk. And speaking of the trunk, that is definitely larger than you might think. You get a bit of storage underneath here, a tray on this side, nice tray on this side too, and loads of room when you fold down the back seats. Very nice. That lower, wider stance really looks good when you pop the hood. Powering the 428i is a 2-liter BMW twin-power turbo inline 16-valve 4-cylinder engine, which produces 241 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It can be mated to a 6-speed manual, or in my test car's case, an 8-speed automatic. My test car is rear-wheel drive, but BMW's xDrive all-wheel drive is a $2,000 option. 0 to 60 takes 5.7 seconds. Fuel economy is rated at 23 miles per gallon in the city and 35 miles per gallon on the highway. You can expect 27 miles per gallon overall. Pricing for the 428i starts at $40,500. My test car comes equipped with a $3,500 M Sport package, which includes 18-inch alloy wheels, adaptive M suspension, sport seats, walnut wood trim, M steering wheel, aerodynamic kit, anthracite headliner, and special trim options. There's a $1,000 dynamic handling package and the $650 M Sport brakes. With all those options plus delivery, you're out the dealer door at $47,125. Now that's certainly not cheap, but it is in line with the competition. And that competition comes from the likes of the Mercedes C-Class, the Cadillac CTS, Audi A5, and the Infiniti Q60. Very tough competition to be sure, but the 4 Series has a big advantage, which I'll call the Beamer effect. There's something about the image of driving a BMW which has existed since the 80s. Even more than its competition, it conveys a sense of success and sportiness in equal parts. It's a reputation that's backed up by excellent handling and Autobahn speed and roadworthiness, all of which the 4 Series oozes. So listen, what do you hear? I'm sitting in traffic, and you hear nothing because the engine is shut off. Now listen. As soon as I took my foot off the brake, it kicked back into life, and off we went. So it's a fuel-saving engineering feat, and it works very well. The fuel economy in this 4 Series is very commendable, for such a fun-to-drive quick car especially. And don't worry, if you happen to be in the sport mode, it won't shut the engine off. It keeps it on all the time. Always ready for action. Now you do get 3 driving modes in the 4 Series. They are Comfort, which you want to use most of the time, cruising around town, going on long trips, that sort of thing. You also get the Sport mode, and that will basically adjust the steering, throttle response, and the chassis to give you an elevated level of handling, speed, and also control. And then of course there's Sport Plus, which basically calibrates everything to give you the most out of the BMW 4 Series, especially with this M Sport package. Now, you want to beware because it does cancel the stability control, and quite frankly, unless you really know what you're doing, you never want to do that. The Eco Pro mode basically makes your engine and transmission work to give you the most economy out of the BMW at all times. Impressively, the sport driving modes are helped by the fact that the front-engined rear-wheel drive 4 Series has almost a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, front and rear, and it shows. Handling is very predictable and enjoyable even in slippery conditions thanks to BMW's excellent traction and stability controls. Gear down. Excellent grip and performance, even in the wet stuff. Very impressive traction control. Great engine tune, too. Impressive. Lots of rain today, unfortunately, but it's not phasing the 4 Series at all. No problems. Even when you're in sport mode, it basically adjusts the traction control to maybe give you a little slip, let you have a little fun, but it's not going to let you get away from it. Extremely solid performance, Autobahn performance. You know that you're going to be gripping the road no matter what the weather is. Nice traction control to back you up anytime you need it, even when you don't think you need it. It's an absolute Jekyll and Hyde difference in the Sport Plus mode as to the regular Comfort mode. Just listen. You have instant power. Basically, the throttle response is very, very, very crisp when you're in Sport, and definitely Sport Plus modes. It's a whole different animal. Feels like a different car. Checking out the night look on the 428i, and as my regular viewers will know, not a big fan of the red color for the night look, but the infotainment screen looks good. Too much red in general for me, but it is at least very easy to see, and it shows up well at night. Check this out. It pops out the seatbelt for easier access automatically. And then once it's on, it automatically retracts back. Pretty cool. You also get an extra sense of comfort and satisfaction knowing that this BMW is covered for 4 years or 50,000 miles for all major service. Now, just like BMWs that precede the 4 Series, it does have its quirks, let's just say. But In a way, the quirks, you know, the shifter, the iDrive interface, they're almost like maybe a little gap in the teeth of your supermodel girlfriend, or her funny accent, or just her funny little mannerisms, or funny little squeaky voice. It can be annoying, but at the same time, if those things weren't there, it wouldn't be as lovable, and it wouldn't be them. And without those things, this BMW 4 Series wouldn't be a BMW 4 Series. BMW is always taking liberties with the names of their cars. They know that a lot goes into a name, and the BMW name has been very popular in America ever since the 2002 came out. But, you know, I kind of miss cars like the 3.0 CS. I think they should bring out a tribute to that car. That was just, to me, one of the most beautiful coupes ever produced. 2002 was very cool too, but the 3.0 CS to me is one of the finest looking coupes of all time, and I think BMW should do a tribute to that, maybe in a future 4 Series edition. Kind of like what they did with the 507 coming out with the Z8. What a great looking car. The Z8 was a bit retro, but it looked very modern at the same time and just gorgeous. You could tell where it came from, but it was modern enough to make anyone happy these days. Just a great looking car and a great performing car too. So what's in a name? Well, really a lot when it comes to BMW. In fact, when it comes to the 5 Series, they don't even call it a station wagon. They call it touring. Somehow, the American audience just can't wrap themselves around buying a station wagon anymore. It's not the 70s, you know. No family trucksters in America. They've got to call it the touring. It's kind of funny to me, but I just love BMW wagons. I think they're so cool. Maybe they'll come out with a shooting brake version of the 4 Series. Basically, that's a 2-door station wagon, and to me they look great. Kind of like the Volvo P1800 perhaps. But anyway, if you go to Germany and you're driving around Germany, you'll notice they love their station wagons in Germany. Or I'm sorry, their touring BMWs. They look so amazing because what they do in Germany is they customize them a lot. And you'll see what you swear is like a BMW M5 and it's a wagon, or an M3 and it's a wagon. Back in the 80s with the 3 Series that we had, well, there was a station wagon version of that that you would see around Europe, and they look to me always really cool. I've always loved them. But what's in a name? Well, the 4 Series is an all-new name for BMW, but you know, time moves on and change is inevitable. After all, the initial 3 Series when it came over, or the 2002, or the 3.0 CS, much smaller cars than actually what you'd see on the road today. If you put a 2002 or even the 3.0 CS next to a modern BMW sedan like the 3 or 4 Series, you would see that it's a very small car, because with modern safety needs, cars have to be a lot bigger today, so they can't build these tiny little beautiful coupes like they used to. But I think they could do a definite bang up modern version of the 3.0 CS. Are you listening, BMW? I hope you are. Tradition definitely means a lot to BMW and its large fan base, so introducing an all-new 4 Series is not something to be taken lightly. The 3 Series has been around since 1975, and over almost 40 years it has amassed a hyper-devoted fan base, not just here in America, but all over the world. The 4 Series has everything going for it that made the 3 Series so popular. It's a nice-looking coupe, it's very comfortable and sporty with great handling, and perhaps most importantly, it has the right image. It's still, after all, by any name, a BMW, and therefore a Beamer. I'm Drivin Ivan Katz.